Come to Kolkata, and how does it feel to be here in Kolkata, city of joy and city of culture?
In fact, you see, the moment I stepped in Calcutta and I was coming through the car, I saw that either side, there were most of the buildings were very old. Whatever that old doesn't mean it is junk. Old means it is a symbol of our heritage and culture. That's why I felt very happy. And moreover, you see, as I was going ahead and ahead on that road, immediately Swami Vivekananda he entered my mind. And then his Guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, better half of Sarada Mata. And then Aravinda Ghosh, Jagadish Chandra Bose, who gravitated from physics to botany and discovered the essence of sap. Aravinda Ghosh, all these people they entered my mind. And really, and you see, this is my maiden visit to Calcutta, and I am so happy. And this morning also, I am a marathoner also. I went around the lake and covered 8 kilometers. And again, day after tomorrow, I am going to do that. And what I find is that every Bengali man and woman here, and every part of the nature here, they are already in my heart. They have nestled into my heart. That is how I can say.
So when you write, where do you draw your inspiration from?
It is a very good question, in fact. You see, most of the people say, this is my copyright. When you reproduce my poem, you have to take my permission. When you translate my poem, you have to take my permission and all that. What I feel is that man doesn't have any copyright on any of the things. Why? Because you are a journalist. You are giving me a coverage. Without you, nobody knows about me, isn't it? If I write a poem on nature, without nature, how can I write? Nature should claim the copyright. And so also about human relations and all that, whether it is women, children, or elder people, or even politicians, intellectuals, artists, so many people are there, isn't it? By seeing all of them only, you are getting inspired to write something. And another thing is, in India, we are also steeped in spiritualism, devotionalism, isn't it? That also comes because of the philosophy already existing in our country and the gods that are there all around us, whether we created them or they were there already, isn't it? So what I feel is that the entire ecosystem, including Mother Nature, including animals and human beings, they are the source of inspiration. I don't have any credit myself.
So any particular theme you tend to come in your writing, any particular theme which comes normally to your writing?
Exactly, exactly. You see, it is said literature or poetry should be a mirror to the society, isn't it? So, about the current happenings and also about the issues that make us think. And so also, and some journals, in fact, they also call for poems on a particular theme and all that, isn't it? So we have to cover each and everything. We have to cover each and everything. The only thing is that any poet can write on anything. But the medium again, some people, most of the people resort to free verse, and some people can do it through metrical poetry and all that. What I feel is that though most of my output is in free verse, I am a great lover of metrical poetry. Metrical poetry should not be belittled because it is very systematic and it has a mnemonic nature because anybody can just easily, once he learns that, he can easily recite that, isn't it? And poets like Shakespeare, Wordsworth, Tennyson, Keats, and all those people, they wrote in metrical poetry only. We love their poetry, isn't it? And nowadays, some people say, no, poetry should reach out to the common man. That's why you should have to write the free verse. But if you write free verse, it doesn't mean that automatically it goes to the lay person, isn't it? How many of the lay people are interested in poetry? And in the case of subliminal literature and surrealism and all that, the poetry, modern poetry is also full of words and such a type of syntax, even the other poets also can't understand that. So the idea is that medium should be left to the poet himself. And according to the target group, you write your poem. For example, if I write a poem intended for children and all that, I have to use their language, where they can understand, isn't it? So, like that.
And how do you see the power of poetry?
You see, power of poetry, the way a poet expresses that, it has to be very aesthetic, beautiful and all that. So then automatically the audience enjoy that. For example, take the lyrics in the movies and all that. The sweet lyrics, they create a lot of impact on the audience. Poetry is also supposed to be like that. So when poetry has to be meaningful, melodious, lyrical, you have to follow certain guidelines and all that. Poetry simply doesn't mean that if you ask me to write about that, okay, I see a plant before me, it has green leaves and dead flowers, it has a stem, it has a branches, it is not poetry, isn't it? So we have to go much beyond that.
And last question, your advice to other young writers or poets?
In fact, you see, there are some people who think that the present generation of the youngsters, they are not into poetry or creativity, but it is not correct. There are a number of teenagers who have written poetry, who are into art, who are into digital technology, who are into designing and all that. But you see, here again, as elders, we have to motivate our children, not only children in our family, children in the society also, and tell them good things and about all those things. And we should tell them poetry gives you a kind of gentle nature, a kind of empathy with other people, and empathy with other people, and also with the mother nature and all those things. So poetry is a kind of beautiful and artistic expression. And again, poetry means you should not be long-winded prose and all that. Brevity is the soul of it, we say. So in poetry, in fact, we should try to express a very good thing in as few words as possible. For example, a picture is there. A picture speaks 1,000 words, they say. You always keep that in mind and write your poetry. That is how I feel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.